What's up, people? Welcome back to another Sweetie Claus. My name is Tevi, and this channel is dedicated to my investment journey, along with coverage on crypto, Tesla, Neo, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information and stay for the perspective. So you'll have to excuse my voice today, recovering from a small cold. But anyways, for today, let's take a break from the stock market and talk about one of my favorite real-world use cases for crypto and blockchain technology. RTFKT, pronounced Artifact, Nike's fourth brand, had their biggest sneaker drop release to date with these dunks. You've seen them in the background of my videos for a while now, but I've been waiting to receive the full set before reviewing them. Artifact is the main reason I became a Nike investor, and if you missed that video, you can catch it here to understand my why and the problem I believe Artifact is helping Nike solve. There are and will be more videos in this series to help with a more detailed look at different elements in the Artifact ecosystem and connect those dots, especially if you're new to the brand. While episode 1 was focused on the CloneX avatars who represent virtual identity and the access they provide, episode 2, this episode, is all about these dunks and what sets them apart from your standard Nike dunks. There is no shortage of video currently out covering one or more of these colorways, but most are missing half of the story that makes these what they are. And I'm not just talking about the ability to authenticate your shoe by scanning the symbol here by tapping your phone on it. And so in today's video, I'll walk you through some of the background information to get you caught up on how we got here, then cover what makes these third generation dunks something new and worth paying attention to, besides the fact that they can resell for up to 9 times retail. Pretty cool, but that's insane. And finally, I'll close with what could be coming next, along with some of my personal takeaways. There's a lot to be unpacked. Get comfortable and grab a snack, and make sure you hit an early like to help this video out, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I should also say that this represents my views and my understanding of how these dunks play into the Artifact ecosystem as it stands today. And that's based on the released information. But with that, let's get into it. So to talk about these dunks, we actually have to go back a couple of years. These dunks, like everything else in the Artifact ecosystem, originally started as a digital collectible or NFT. The original dunk was inside a box called Monolith. This was the first of 3 mystery boxes gifted to CloneX avatar holders by the Artifact team in February of 2022. It was also the first time that the Artifact community had to come together and collaborate in order to unlock the unknown at the time content inside the Monolith 1 box. This was an epic interactive experience between the brand and the community with puzzles and virtual games. The quest was completed in April of 2022, and out of the box came 3 items. The first, you guessed it, was these Artifact Nike Dunk Genesis Crypto Kicks. That's the original name and a mouthful, but these have historical significance as they represent the very first Nike sneaker to ever be born on a blockchain before taking physical form. If you collect Nike sneakers, this is not something to overlook. Item number 2 was a DNA skin vial. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but these little skin vials go back directly to the various CloneX DNAs I previously mentioned in this video here. Last but certainly not least is the Monolith 2, which later on spun its own interactive quest and brought forth these CryptoKicks IRL sneakers. What's cool about these sneakers is that they feature self-lacing technology right under here, and they can be adjusted via the Artifact phone app. This is the Ice colorway and is a nod to the Nike Air Mag from Back to the Future. If you want to hear more about these particular sneakers, leave a comment. It's also worth noting that these Monolith boxes are the mechanism that Artifact uses to release its most innovative products. The dunks introduce modularity, and the CryptoKicks IRL introduced connectivity, making them a smart sneaker. The third monolith, the Monolith X, is still out there and has yet to have its content revealed. But back to the dunks. With everything Artifact does, there is always a physical and a digital element to it. On the digital front, and this is something most reviews out there did not cover, these DNA vials, once equipped, change the appearance of the shoes across 3 stages so far on their evolution tree. With each stage of evolution, the dunk design becomes more wild. The original reveal video playing in the background does speak of power unlocks, and so does the various patents that Artifact and Nike released around the dunks and dynamic evolution of digital asset depicting the monolith mechanism. This is where the gaming influence comes in, with some foreshadowing of what's to come. The other important thing to note about these skin vials is that the 8 DNAs tied to the CloneX avatar are only the start of this entire digital ecosystem. The intent from day one was to use this silhouette to allow collaborators both within and outside of the community to put their own spin on these dunks. These open slots on the artifact site will fill over time. This is an important point that I will come back to a bit later in the video. The last point, and this is another critical one to pay attention to, none of the 6 physical pairs Artifact has released to date, so the OG, this is the OG, the CloneX, let me grab that, the CloneX, the Ghost, so here's the Ghost, the Void, and the 2 Neko Camo bonus pairs gifted to some of the lucky individuals who bought 1 or more of the 4 original colorways. And no, I did not get a pair, I was not selected. None of the 6 colorways are derived from the 8 CloneX DNAs. However, each physically released dunk has a digital twin and comes with a new skin vial like the CloneX vial for the CloneX dunks. The bottom line here is that Artifact at a minimum has 8 concept colorways they could bring forth for future releases. Holding the dunk or CloneX avatar collectible could once again be the access point for these to get a physical release. That's a good segue into the physical portion of the dunk ecosystem and how you could have gotten your hands on these. With this initial drop, people who received or bought the digital version of the dunk had full access to purchase 4 of the 6 available colorways via the forging or pre-order event. And so for each Genesis Dunk digital collectible held, each person could have ordered up to 7 pairs of shoes in any size during a 2-week ordering window for $222. The breakdown is as follows. 1 pair of OG colorway featuring this crazy lenticular upper. It takes most of its design elements from the original digital version. The laces, insole, inner liner, and tongue contour are all reflective. And for an Easter egg, the logos, once UV charged, glow in the dark. That's pretty cool. Next, you could order 2 of the Void colorways. The Void is the only pair of this bunch with a cotton canvas upper, and it's also the only one that has this organic design etched into the purple gradient swoosh. You could also get 2 of the Ghost colorway featuring the 3D swoosh and blade combo and these crazy translucent laces. I mean, this is insane. Look at this. This is the first pair I've ever seen with translucent laces. I love this particular design element. Last but certainly not least, you could get 2 of the CloneX colorways featuring the lenticular upper, and you can kind of see how it shimmers here as I rotate it. It features the red chrome 3D swoosh and blade combo, and it also comes with these ridiculously eye-catching candy red ribbon style laces. They're a little stretchy but very unique. All these details give every pair their own character. It's also worth noting that anyone with a CloneX avatar was able to order 2 additional CloneX pairs per avatar they held. Again, going back to that value proposition and access the avatar itself provides. Now, while the CloneX and OG colorway could only be purchased with cryptocurrency and were exclusive to those holding the CloneX avatars or the Dunk digital collectible, the Void and the Ghost colorway went to public release and could be bought with a standard credit card. This was a first for Artifact, by the way, as every other sneaker release prior to this was token gated. The Ghost was made available as a ComplexCon exclusive, while the Void was available at ComplexCon and saw 2 additional public releases in extremely limited quantities. The goal of these public releases was to expand brand awareness. 1,000 pairs released via the Sneakers app, and an even smaller undisclosed quantity at high fashion boutique Dover Street Market in Paris and Japan. Unsurprisingly, both locations completely sold out virtually instantly. The last thing to note here is that with the pre-order model, the total supply and available size runs are 100% based on what people order during the forging window. So once forging or the pre-order is complete, the total supply is locked and can be verified on the blockchain. So those quantities displayed are all there is for each of these colorways, meaning that the team had to plan ahead and forge the pairs for public release at the same time the pre-order was initially opened. And you have to remember that part of the reason these shoes take as long as they do to deliver is that they are truly made to order and shipped directly from the factory to you. No middlemen, no backdoor deals possible here. I say that because one of the common criticisms from anyone who has never owned anything from Artifact is the price being high and the long wait time from pre-order to delivery. And I get it, right? At $222, that's nearly double the price that a dunk or SB dunk would retail for. So let's talk about what sets these apart from your standard dunk or SB dunk. First and foremost, these are the first redesign from the ground up of a Nike dunk silhouette in over 20 years. The first generation dunk was introduced in 1985, then came the Gen 2 SB dunk for the skaters in 2002, featuring the extra added padded tongue and an air zoom unit, and now 22 years later, we have the new generation dunk for the gamers. Fun fact, there is an actual playable Fortnite map featuring these dunks and other 3D assets from the RTFKT ecosystem. If you play Fortnite, you might enjoy that, so go check it out. Now, for the redesigned elements, they include the midsole with a compression molded foam, and you can kind of see when I squeeze how it goes in. And similar to the SB Dunk, it houses an air zoom unit. The outsole has this striking spinal design reminiscing of a space boot, and it allows you to see the air zoom unit right through it, which is pretty insane, and that's one of my favorite design's elements. You also have these silicone printed space laces with extra grip. Those little ridges that you see essentially make it so that you can set it and forget it, even without tying your laces. The upper is a single piece, which from a construction perspective, this is unlike any traditional dunks that have multiple pieces sewn together. Last but certainly not least are these mud attachments for the heel and the tongue. What's cool about these is that RTFKT has made the 3D files available to all. Attachments are truly only limited by one's imagination and their 3D printing skills. They can be fairly basic, like these included in the box when you receive the shoe, or they can be pretty techy and wild, like the top 3 winning submissions from the creator contents RTFKT hosted for their community alongside the dunk release. Many of the creators behind these mods are able to monetize by selling the creations, which is pretty cool if you ask me. There is a lot to be excited about with these dunks. The design stands out, and yet they made it a point to ensure that these weren't just collector pieces, right? But they were actually wearable and comfortable, which they are, and if you're wondering, yes, they can be skated. The modularity and customization they introduce really allows for self-expression. You can dress them up or dress them down to fit your mood and your outfit. So now that you understand their historical significance in the Nike Dunk lineage and why they were released from the Monolith Innovation Engine, let's talk about what comes next. Since the acquisition by Nike in December of 2021, RTFKT has had at least one sneaker drop every year. That's crazy to think about, right? So let's quickly run through those. Starting with the Air Force One Space Drip Collection, featuring 19 designs split between 371 physical pairs. Super limited. Those shipped in November of 2022. Each colorway was designed by 19 independent artists, which you may or may not have heard about. This Space Drip collection did set the tone for RTFKT, opening the doors for artists and creators of various notoriety to have their own official collaboration with Nike. Fun fact here, Paris Hilton was one of those 19 designers, and her pair was gifted to those who were able to collect the full set. Next was the CryptoKick IRL, or CRL for short. These had 4 colorways split between 5,993 pairs total and shipped in September of 2023. Following those, we had the Season 1 Air Force One with 10 colorways split between 10,937 pairs total, still crazy limited, and those shipped in October of 2023. Those were based on the Clonex DNAs, so these are the reptile pair. I've talked about these before, you can see the reptile logo here. And what's cool about this particular collection is that 2 of the released designs were in collaboration with Takashi Murakami. And this is one of the 2 designs that they released with Takashi Murakami. But what's really cool and important about these is that this is the second time that RTFKT released Nike official branded sneakers for artists that they collaborated with. Fun fact here is that those who collected the full set received the What the RTFKT bonus pair for free, featuring designs from the other 10 pairs, which now brings us back to the dunks with 6 colorways revealed so far. 4 of the 6 colorways started shipping in June this year and have a total supply of 32,545. The 2 bonus pairs, the Nickel Camo colorway, have a total supply of 102 pairs, which is crazy limited, and I really wish I had one. And those will start shipping this month. You can start to see a theme here, right? And this is something that I believe RTFKT does not get enough credit for. So these bonus pairs, right? So the Air Force One from the Space Drip collection, the Season 1 collection, the dunks, bonus pairs, all of those were gifted to community members as a thank you for participating in the forging events. Again, you can see the gamified element here. If you participate, you can win, and you can get some pretty limited pair for something that you're already enjoying collecting anyways. Each release has had a broader audience than the one prior as awareness grows. Knowing that Artifact went through the trouble of redesigning these dunks and they've set the precedent for collaboration and set the stage for that, it's fair to say that more dunks are on the way. It's not a matter of if, but rather a matter of when. Another fun fact for you, when Artifact collaborated with Rimowa to release this iconic cabin luggage, the Workerbot digital collectible that came with it had a DNA vial in its back. There's now 5 total of these little bots running in our ecosystem, and each feature a vial in their back. Whether this actually inspires more dunk colorways is to be seen. The point is, the Nike Dunk line has been the ultimate storytelling canvas in sneaker form for the past 40 years, okay? Even before these Artifact dunks, it has seen some of the most creative applications of colors, material, texture, and prints, making them one of the top choices for telling athletes, collaborators, and artist stories. Artifact prides itself in having one of the most creative communities out there, and it's becoming more and more apparent with each contest they hold. This new modular canvas that the Artifact Dunk represents looks to expand on a 40-year legacy by infusing a gaming-inspired element to it. It sets the stage for new storytelling and collaboration in new verticals not previously explored. From within the Artifact ecosystem itself, there's literally an entire storyline for these clones and the recently released Animus companions. That in itself could be an entire new video. We don't have time for that today. But the point of me telling you this is that know that every drop to date ties in some way, shape, or form to that particular storyline. Artifact has also teased a new iteration of their phone-based app that allows you to control and customize a yet-to-be-released new screen mod for these dunks. The bottom line, and really the last thing that I will say to wrap this video up, is that Artifact appears to have a strong pipeline around these dunks, and I'm personally excited to see what future drops will bring. My guess, based on past history, is that we'll find out by year end what the next drop could look like. Access to these drops has consistently come from holding either the CloneX avatars themselves or the content inside the Monolith boxes. Remember, the Monolith X is still out there, so something to keep in mind. The best way to ensure that you don't miss out on what's to come next is to stay connected with the Artifact account, and you can follow them on X as well as downloading their phone app. Also, you can subscribe to my channel as I will continue to provide content on what comes next for Artifact. But on that note, that is it for me today. Hopefully this helped put things into perspective and you have a better understanding of where these dunks fit into the entire ecosystem. If you found value in my content, click the like button and share with others who you think could also benefit from it. For my newcomers, subscribe, it's free, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you too can stay in the know. I'll be back on Sunday for my weekly video and possibly during the week for an extra one. Till then, you can keep up with me here on X for crypto and NFT related news. Thank you for watching, stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.